If there's any questions we can, come with that. And then after that, we'll prepare for the concert. Cool. Does anyone have a question? Raise your hand. Oh, at the very end, yeah. Sorry. Get it aside.
Hello. Hi. Firstly, thank you for coming. We really appreciate being here in London. My question is, what did the violist say to the other violist?
What did he ask? I missed it. Violinist say for the violist?
Just oh. Line signing, he told us that was his favorite video.
Oh, okay.
We're in need of sheet music.
Anyone else? Oh, yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I forgot to say hello in the meet and greet. I was very nervous. Hello. If composers were alive today, do you think that their symphonies would include like synthesizers and modern electric instruments too? Would they be totally different?
Have you heard of a group called BTSM?
No, they're one of my favorite groups.
I feel like they might do something like that, but I'm not so sure.
No? Not Paganini. What Paganini's?
We can just stick to playing the violin and flexing on it. But then again, it might start some controversies online. I'm not too sure.
Are you linked? That's what I'm getting from that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Brett, what do you think people will do though after that?
Probably.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's because back then things have changed right now. We have different.
I mean, Mozart, like, was it Mozart that invented the clarinet? No, I can't remember. But yeah, I know that composers definitely pushed and introduced new instruments into the orchestra and new ways to play music. So I think, yeah, they'll definitely be. But I guess the question is though, it's hard to say because whether those composers would feel the same way in today's culture as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I like to think that they'll definitely be creative and innovative. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. Anyone else? On the front, you think?
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you guys. Okay, I wanna ask, like growing up learning the violin, have you ever guys like felt like insecure, like you're playing compared to like those like really pro ones? Have you ever like felt that? And like how do you overcome it if you have?
I still feel that to the day. Yeah, definitely. I think that's such a normal part of practicing
Yeah.
and learning an instrument. How to deal with it? It's a pretty heavy question actually. I want to like get a proper answer. I feel like, do you mean in terms of comparing your playing to other people?
Yeah, like especially when you saw like online so many like good violinists out there, they're playing like the same piece as what you're playing, and then you'd be like, oh my gosh, I suck, and then you'd be like, no, not applying to you guys. I'm like saying like if you ever felt that, like that kind of feeling, like just like, oh, I don't want to practice anymore because I'll never be like them.
Don't make them cry.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I just looked to the viola.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good way.
I think it's funny because even just today, we're like watching a video of some like new kid. I didn't even know his name, but he apparently won. Well, he was in the manual competition and he was doing like these impossible things on the violin, like bam, 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 bam. And we're just like, who is this guy? I think. I try to focus on finding ways to appreciate the talent and to let it inspire me rather than trying to feel down about myself. Because I think this is my personal belief. I feel like we all do the best with what we have.
Yeah.
And I think that's more important. I think the moment you start comparing yourself and it inspires you, then that's great because it's going to inspire you to practice more and that will help
Yeah.
you. But the moment that you start thinking, oh, I'm never going to be able to play like this person, there's a point where it's like, that may be true or that might not be true, but it doesn't really help to think that way. It's going to discourage you. And the thing is, you never really know what will happen because imagine, like, there's so many prodigies out there that we can't play as well as them, but imagine because of that we gave up on it and never did anything, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like, try to find the things that help inspire you. And I would also say that, I know in classical music we focus a lot about technique, playing difficult things, but at the end of the day, this is such a big world out there. There's so much room and space for creativity. You don't have to be playing Paganini caprices. You can use your violin in, you can, or whatever instrument you play. There's so much space to express things about who you are. And, at the end of the day, I think if you can move an audience, even just one person, that's so worth it.
Can I just add, also on that, watching other people playing prodigy stuff, we all move kind of at our own pace. I think it's easy to compare someone else. You look at someone 12-year-old playing miles better than you are. It's like Eddie said, I think you look towards the side where they can inspire you and just go, hey, look, we're all just in our lane. We should move at our own pace. And we shouldn't have that kind of feeling like, oh, they can play all the 24 caprices in 1 week.
Yeah.
And it's going to take me 30 years, you know. I think that type of thing kind of discourages you. And as long as you realize that we all have different abilities or strengths and weaknesses, it's okay to be like that. Just leave it at that.
It just reminds me actually, you know that story that we all hear as a kid, like the turtle and the rabbit or something?
Yeah, that story.
Yeah.
That actually, in some ways, is genuine because growing up, I remember there were a few like prodigies locally that would always win the competitions, and a lot of them, for whatever reason, kind of burnt out and never kept playing. So I think what Brett said is really important. Stick to your own pace, your own lane, and consistency is more important than speed.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I just want to say that there was one point I tried to give up, but you guys kind of inspired me back to, like keep going. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? What about this side? In the front here.
Hi, hello. Thank you for coming. I don't want to pressure or anything, but I was wondering if you had any preference for the 5 mil concert. Not pressure. Just a preference.
I need to find a way to get through tonight's concert. Let's put it this way. I don't want to give too much away from tonight's concert, but there's a certain section where there's 4 parts in A, B, C, and D. And in part D, you may have a choice of selection. And then I'd be curious to see how people respond. So I'll be looking out on social media, because people comment on social media, but personally, I think I would be excited to play
Paganini.
Barber would be amazing. Actually,
I would very much like to hear Barbara. Because
Barbara.
also we can hear your evolution because we have another recording that you did like in uni, right?
Oh, true.
The shoulder draw.
Compare to see if I practice in the last 6 years. Yeah, Barb's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Poker face. This
I'll
right.
keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, the front. Thank you.
Hey, it's so great to see you guys. I was wondering if you guys would ever consider doing a classical music podcast on Spotify, since you guys...
Ooh.
Because I know I love podcasts and just like listening to you guys, even just now in this Q&A, just talking about a subject is really just informative, and I think it brings a lot to the table.
We've been thinking about that, honestly, but we haven't really had much time to kind of sit down and think about what we do. I mean, thanks for bringing that up. So we do, Eddie and I, we do talk a lot, just sometimes it goes for hours, just random stuff. But maybe on Spotify, did you say?
Yeah, because I know a lot of the podcasts that I listen to on Spotify, like you can download them.
And what type of topics do you want us to talk about?
So you can take suggestions from, I think,
From everyone,
because,
people.
from everyone, because you can
Okay.
cover the stuff that people want to listen to. And just kind of because your opinions of classical music have really broadened my opinions of pieces. And I think it just helps because you guys are talking about it in your videos anyway.
Yeah, sure. If you have a question now, we can try it now.
Well, that's put me on the spot. What do you think makes classical music timeless? I mean, just, I know that it's... This is why a podcast would be good.
I don't know if I'm qualified for a podcast anymore.
Thinking
Yeah.
timeless.
Well, if you think about the theory of relativity, I don't know. I think there's definitely, I don't know why, but I will say, and I think I'm more qualified to talk about this because Brett doesn't listen to pop music. But you know how with pop music, you can find a song that you really like. And for me, it's like you listen to that song on repeat, non-stop for like 2 weeks, and then you get over it. And it's just like, and then you move on to the next song. And you can even see that in, you know, how quick the pop industry is always moving, like all these new hit songs, right? But something about classical music, I can listen to a piece by Ravel that I first fell in love with 15 years ago, and it will still move me. And so I don't know exactly what it is that these like the secret sauce these composers need, but I do think there's something about the music. It's less in your face and stimulating, but the way the music is crafted, the way they can paint sound over time, over 10, 30, 1 hour, it's really fascinating. And I think it's also probably something to do with, I don't know, I'm just guessing off the top of my head. I think there's a certain point where things become like cultural symbols, you know, and they have meaning to us because it reminds us of where we as humans have come from. And I don't know if I'm articulating myself very well, but yeah. Anyway.
It's a great podcast.
I
think you guys make a great podcast, honestly.
Thank you. Thanks for the encouragement. I was going to say, for me, the classical music side is kind of like what you said. Let's say the pieces we play, the pieces we listen to, they kind of grow with you. So that's why you probably see a lot of artists going back to say the Bach solos and artists and theatres. So, you know, you think you'll play it once and then move on, but no, I think a lot of artists revisit it. Even then, every now and then I play Bach that I learned in uni, and even you kind of discover new things about it when you're in uni. Remember we were talking about today how we learned some concertos, but our interpretation, our feeling about that concerto is so different to 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago we had a way of playing it, and we have to try and unlearn how we learned that concerto and put in kind of our thoughts on it now. So it's the same music notation, but I don't know, sometimes why, it just kind of keeps growing together after a while. I don't know what it is yet. We need some time, maybe like episode 7.
No, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Yes? French horn, I remember.
How do you separate your love for music in terms of playing for leisure and now that being a musician is your full-time job? How do you manage the demands between the two, and how do you remain humble whilst getting better and having opportunities to play it both in work and leisure? So as you've gotten better, how do you still remain level-headed?
Can I answer this one?
Yeah, sure.
I think, we were talking about this the other day, but something Brett and I, we really value a lot. You can probably guess by how much we talk about practicing, but we really value this idea of always trying to kind of grow and improve and just push ourselves to the next level. And so I find, because someone asked us this question actually in a previous VIP meet and greet, and I didn't have a very good answer at the time. So I thought about it. Well, at the time I was just like, you have to balance it out. If you feel like you're getting burnt out from doing music as a job, then maybe reflect a bit. I do think that's true, but I think there's this idea with like improving where you want to find that sweet spot where you're being challenged, but you're not stressing out. You're not trying to do what prodigies are doing that you can't do, but you also at the same time don't want to be bored. You don't want to be doing something that you know you can do and it's boring, it's repetitive. And so I feel like sometimes when, let's say for example, you might get a job as a musician and you find yourself doing 10 wedding gigs playing Canada D, and then you're like, this doesn't challenge me because I've played this Canada D like 10 times. That's where it starts to kind of feel like, it might feel like you're losing your passion. Or at the same time, if you're throwing yourself in the other extreme and you are doing things that stress you out and then you burn out, this is too much. Like competition after competition, that can also make you, in some ways, like I think a music uni environment can do that when it's too high pressure, comparing yourself to other music students. That can also make you lose your passion for music. I think, like Brett said, the key is to move at your own pace. It's like a game where it's like every level is just the perfect difficulty and you're always leveling up. And when you find that sweet spot and you kind of don't worry about, or you find a way to make your circumstances so it allows you to continue that journey, I think that's what will keep you really fulfilled. And it'll also answer your second question about remaining humble, because when you're constantly improving, you're not thinking about how good you are, you're just thinking about, well, how can I get better all the time? So, yeah.
Can I just add, like, we all have kind of goals, let's say pieces we want to play, for example, and certain technique we want to attain. We had this conversation the other day, it was like, yes, sometimes might not make it, but it doesn't hurt trying. And I think there's a lot of fulfillment just aiming for that golden star, right? You're still looking at it, it still gives you kind of that guidance. And you know at the end of the day, you'll still improve, right? So yeah. Yes. The practice very interesting. One more question? Okay.
Hi. So I would like to ask, kind of like continuing her question. No, not about the very big ones. It's just, what is your suggestion on like broadening your like the classical pieces that you usually listen to? Because I realized that sometimes I would just repeat on listening on a few pieces. I kind of want to broaden myself, but really don't know how, because there's like such a wide range of repertoire worth choosing. And also, do you think like learning a bit of music theory helps with more appreciation and broadening of the music that you listen to?
Do you have any current favorite pieces that you like?
Beethoven's symphonies, Beethoven's Symphony No. 6, especially, and Tchaikovsky and Sibelius Violin Concerto. But I kind of just listen to some of them on repeat, so.
Yeah, okay. Do you know Vaughan Williams?
Oh yeah, I've heard.
Do you like Vaughan Williams?
Like one of the pieces, but like not a lot.
And Tchaikovsky and Sibelius. Yeah, the way I would approach it is, you know what you like right now, and you kind of just slowly branch out to see, because there's definitely links in music, right? Like, for example, so much blanking, like Brahms, he came from like Beethoven, who came from Haydn and Mozart, who came from Bach, and so you kind of trace to explore similar styles. If you like Debussy, maybe you can check out Ravel, or you can check out Satie. If you like more of the really thick romantic sounds, you might check Wagner, and then from there you can discover Mahler, for example. That's probably what I do. And actually, even now, I just randomly discover awesome pieces of music on YouTube. Sometimes the algorithm just like some cool thing shows up. It's kind of like a pretty thumbnail with some artwork, and like click. And yeah, I guess if you like it, it's cool. And if you don't like it, sometimes it's just like it's not the right time, and you'll come back to the same piece in like 1 or 2 years, and it'll feel very different. And I guess the last advice I'll say is, if you play music with other people, that's a great way to like discover music, like quartets, chamber music, orchestra. Some of my favorite symphonies I learned about because we played it in youth orchestra. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's wrap up. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. I guess we'll see you when the concert starts. We have to warm up.
Yeah, and thank you so much all for coming. It was really, really awesome to meet you all. Because now, like there's so many people, we don't get a chance to meet everyone, but to be able to meet you all today was really special. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.